Alright, I am back, and as you can see, I'm working with NASCAR Heat 4. So this is going to be my first video. Let's take a look at our settings. I basically set up these settings from other individuals that I've been watching their videos. So I put it at 105, light damage, 13%, 2 times normal tire wear. Most of the stuff I tried to put on normal if possible. You can see I don't have any driving aids. Skill range normal, stability more stable. I tried to make it to where the AI is not just going to spin out if you run into them, because I think that causes more cautions, and I'm trying to lessen the cautions overall. So I'm going to run a race here at Atlanta on 105%. So let's get into that and see what it looks like. Now, I've been sim racing for, 15 years now. So, this is a new game. It takes a little getting used to. But I've seen some videos where individuals have concerns about it being too easy. I think that somewhat depends on your skill level, but it also depends on your setup too. You can see up in the top, I have it 2 clicks from very loose. So let's go out and qualify and see how we do.
Alright, dig driver.
Now, one thing I really love about this game is the sound, and the sound is amazing. So they've done a very good job with the sound as a whole. But you can definitely hear how throaty it sounds. It sounds like a V8, and I love it. And I've never really used this camera view before either on top of the hood. I really enjoy that too. That view really gives me a sense of speed. And I really like the sense of speed that it gives overall. Now, just so you know a little bit more about me, I raced NASCAR racing 2003 for a long time. Have some videos on that. iRacing, Assetto Corsa, Project Cars 2, pretty much any racing title, especially now on PC. If it's out there, I've run it. So I'm no sim racing expert, but I'm a little more well versed than someone who's brand new to it. So, but again, I'm no expert. I'm not out there winning iRacing championships, but I do run iRacing. So there are some things I like about this title, and there are some things that I would like to see improved. We're going to start our race in 16th place, and I'm going to talk a little bit about this as we go. I did record this beforehand so that I can talk at the same time until I get used to the sense of speed with this game. So there's a few things I really like about it. Number one, obviously, is the graphics. I love the graphics of it. It looks so updated to me. Oh, and we just hit the wall right there. But that's okay, we'll keep going. The graphics are number one. It definitely has a lot of fidelity with the graphics. I know there are some motion blur issues. Hopefully they can get those ironed out, because I like to see it as crisp and clean as possible, just like everybody else. So I know there's some concerns there, but overall the visuals and the contrast and the lighting looks really good. Now that's all great, but let's see if we can get under him. Once you get past those things, once you unwrap the paper on the box, what's inside the box? Well, again, I've only run a couple of races, but I just wanted to show what I've done so far.
Stay low, stay low.
The way it handles. The handling is pretty good. Of course, it's not on par with a NASCAR 2003 or an iRacing or even an Assetto Corsa. But the handling's pretty good. I would like to see the force feedback updated. I'm going to switch between these two views as we go here. But I'd like to see the force feedback updated. To me, the best way to describe it, it sometimes feels like you're driving on spaghetti. And no, not Lisa Spaghetti from Jeff Favignano's videos. I loved her, by the way. But no, not her. It just feels like it's mushy. It doesn't feel planted into the track like I would like. And the force feedback, it's on and off. So you're going around a turn, you feel it, and then all of a sudden you don't feel anything. And I think what they're trying to do is is make up for the bumps in the road, but that consistent force feedback needs to be there all the time, but it feels like it's on and off. Now, Atlanta is an extreme example because, and I'm going to brush the wall right there, Atlanta's very abrasive, of course. It runs down those tires. You're going to see at the end of the race here, I ended up blowing a tire. But the sense of speed is insane, and the colors and the fidelity, the way it looks, is just really done well. The AI's even done pretty well. You know, I would always like to see it updated a little bit more. But, and for me, I'm not the type of person, unlike what you just saw, to run into everybody and just plow through the field. That's not how I race. That's not how I like to do things. I try to keep it as sim and realistic as possible. But I'm going to shut up for just a second and let you all listen to the sound, because the sound is really well done. I really enjoy it. So I'm going to switch back to the inside view just so you can get a sense of what that looks like. I did watch Billy Strange's video and his review. He's spot on. If you haven't seen it yet, you need to go see it, because he is spot on all the way. There needs to be a field of view slider so that you can change the field of view inside the car, or outside of it, for that matter, you know, whatever works for you. But the force feedback needs some updating. The brake is a little sensitive. I think it depends on what pedals you have. The steering is my big concern, though. The number one thing you need in a racing game is good steering and good force feedback, and that needs to be tweaked in a patch. And this game is, I would say, 70% there for what they're looking to do. If they can put out a patch or two and update these concerns that we have, this game is going to be right there. I know this is a console port. There's no mouse support. There's none of that. It's a console port because it still has the Xbox buttons on there that you can choose from. And it's difficult to know what buttons to press because there's no key bindings. There's nothing. So you fiddle through it the best you can. But there needs to be some love paid to the PC version, and I know the PC gamer is on the low end of the totem pole because that's not the demographic that typically buys these types of games, at least not a huge amount. This is a console port, and I'm okay with that, but I'd like to see them continue to place some emphasis on the PC as well. Now, it does run at 60 frames. I'm running a 1920X 12-core processor and a 1070 video card and 16 gigs of memory. It runs flawlessly for me. There is some aliasing. I'd like to see that taken care of, but at the end of the day, I can't complain. So I'm really enjoying it. You can see I'm in third place right here. At the end of this race, I'm going to blow a tire. I still end up in third, but I wanted to make this video for Disco, because he was like, hey, it looks like it's way too easy, but when I run my races, I'm in the middle of the pack. And I think that's great. This is just how it worked out for me in this particular race. I'm hopeful I end up in the middle of the pack as well. What I'm going to try is changing the AI tire fall off so that it doesn't fall off as much as mine. Now, I don't want to band-aid the game, but you can see right here as I hit the wall, I'm in third. What if the AI tire fall off wasn't as much as mine? Would I be in the middle of the pack? Would I be in 10th right now instead of 4th? I don't know. For me, I'd rather have more of a challenge. 105, it's decent, but I have to put in a few band-aids to make it more challenging. So I'm going to do that in the next race. I'm going to turn the AI tire wear fall off down so that they're faster at the end of a run and see what that does.
Stay low, stay low.
But I think 704 is close. They are closer than they were in 2 and 3, and they're getting closer.
See if we can manage our tire wear a little, all right?
No, I can't do that. I can't manage the tire wear. I got to go. But it's pretty good. The number one thing I want to see addressed, though, is the force feedback in the steering and get that tightened up. So hopefully they can do that. But I'm having lots of fun with it. No, it's not a hardcore sim, and it's not meant to be. But for what it is, I think they did a really good job. And I commend them for the hard work that they put in. They're a smaller team. This is the only game they make. It should be good. Because they're not an EA. They don't have thousands of people working on games. Or hundreds of people. But for what they have, they've done a very good job. We just need a couple of tweaks, and we'll be right there.
Outside, outside.
And another thing I love about this is the high line. I love running the high side. You just have to feather that throttle. And that's what I meant about that spaghetti feeling. You could be going around a corner, it feels good, and then all of a sudden it slips, and that grip is not there. Now you can see here, I got lucky, and a slower car on the inside slowed up a couple of cars. But realistically, I'm a 3rd to 4th place speed car in this race, or truck. So I'm on the high side here. Sometimes it feels good, and then sometimes it'll feel spongy, and it's not consistent. And well, you can see right there, I screwed that really bad, and then I wrecked right there. So, but at the end of the day, it was a 3rd, 4th, 5th place car, truck. So I enjoyed it. I think it's going to be really good. I'm still doing testing, trying to figure out the wheel settings. But if they can dial that in, it'll be in a good spot. So we're going to watch a little bit of the replay here. I like the replay system, of course. And if there's a way to do this, let me know. I'm making videos, so I would love to be able to... I see there's a pause button. I'd love to be able to pause it and pan the camera to where I want it to go, so I can take thumbnails and have those, as the beginning of the video, the thumbnail that you see when you're looking on YouTube. I'd like to have the option to stop the video and take a picture wherever I want. And maybe that'll come. Maybe it's in there and I just don't know it. I just got the game like 3 hours ago. So I like it. I enjoy it. I think it's going to be really good. I would like to see the difficulty bumped up a little bit. Now I know on PC there was a way last year to go into the files a little bit, mess around, create your own custom paint scheme and import it into the game, but that's actually going under the hood of the game into the files themselves to do that. That's not in the paint booth inside the game. You have to actually get the PSD Photoshop templates, paint your car, and import it back into the file of the game. And there's also a way to mess around with the driver ratings. And you know me, if there's a way to do it, I'm going to find it. So I'm going to do some more research on that. And if I can make the AI faster, I'm going to do it. So stay with me, hang in there, and we'll see how it looks. I'm going to do some research on that moving forward, and I'll be putting in some more videos too. So I appreciate your time today. Come back and see me. We'll do some more testing, and I'll do some more videos. Appreciate it, and everybody have a good evening, and have a good weekend.